From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want
individual attention, likes to talk about the team, but that's a good job.
And it's a pitch. And Etienne gets a block on the edge. A hard hit, knocked out of bounds there by Jeff Okudah, but a nice first down gain as we check the Chick-fil-A impact players on this side of the ball.
Yeah, much like Ohio State, Clemson, as much as you talk about Lawrence, they've got to get Etienne. T. Higgins will be into the boundary, number 5. Justyn Ross will be on the other side. Talked a lot about Chase Young. You just saw Jeff Okudah make a great play against the run, but he's going to have to play great in coverage against the long, tall receivers of Clemson.
Etienne got 8 on first down. Now they fake it to him, and they find Higgins across the middle, who slips a tackle and makes a gain into Ohio State territory to the 45.
But one thing they're going to look at to attack aggressive linebackers coming downhill. When he sees that, and they're committed to stopping the run, he's going to throw right behind them in their version of run-pass option here. As a true freshman. That time, Ohio State great contain.
And now Young was eager. His throw downfield to Higgins. Some confusion whether or not it was a free play or a dead ball. Incomplete, out of bounds, but Young came across.
But his helmet, T. Higgins' helmet came off, and I don't know if he got hit when he went down. There was a collision there. It looked like Jeffrey Okudah just following through on the play may have hit Higgins, but it was a free play. I'm just talking about more about Higgins getting dinged there. It's 5 yards and a free play for Clemson, but Higgins took the worst of it.
Everybody kind of stopped. And you watch the end of the play.
Watch one, Okudah after the play. The ball is, helmet's off. Now watch him come down on top of Higgins right there.
Fuller swatted for the ball, didn't mean to hit him in the head. And you keep an eye on Higgins, who's coming off the best game of his life. 3 touchdowns in the ACC championship win over Virginia. On 2nd and 5, a little bit of a sprint out into the throw to Overton, who makes the catch. Short gain. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Jeffrey Okudah, you can tell, has brought an aggressive attitude into this game for the Buckeyes. Known as one of the top cover corners in the country. Talking about maybe a top 5 pick type of player. But tonight he's showing that he's ready to make plays coming up and making some tackles up close to the line of scrimmage.
He's better than Dabo has. T. Higgins has not had the helmet on, Kirk, since taking that shot on the sidelines in the last series. So we'll keep a close eye on that.
The trainer's talking to him, trying to get a feel for his status and whether or not he's going to be able to come back out there. Kind of a freak accident after that incompletion.
Yeah, Chris, we saw T. Higgins going into the tent, and when he came back to the bench, he no longer had his helmet. He looked dejected, and a lot of his teammates were coming over to shake his hand, and then they just took him to the locker room for further evaluation. We're not sure about the diagnosis yet, and we'll get you an update as soon as possible.
1st and 15, play action. Lawrence zips it a slant, and Ross goes down, makes the catch in Ohio State territory.
And with T. Higgins down, more the onus falls on to 8, who was the hero last year in the national championship against Nick Saban and the Alabama defense. They will move him around even more now. He's usually to the field up here, but now they've got him down here into the boundary where T. Higgins normally would be. Offense, but even tougher is the offensive line trying to deal with Chase Young and this aggressive defense.
Etienne on the pitch. Quick burst. Ohio State picking up where they left off in the second half against Wisconsin, the Big Ten championship. In the first half, Taylor ran wild on, had a 135-yard rushing at halftime, and then they dialed it up, and it looked a lot like this bunch from the midfield.
They really played.
Clemson desperate to dent the scoreboard here. Another keeper. Lawrence held up briefly, but shows the strength. Long strider, but fought off a tackle, picked up 5. And Lawrence loops his sidelines. Higgins couldn't come up with it. We'd wondered what would it be like and how would he respond if for the first time in his college career, Lawrence is going to have to play from behind, trailing in the second half. We're about to see that.
Yeah, we sure are. And I think one of the adjustments that Jeff Hafley made, speaking of adjustments, is getting those corners up tighter, jamming T. Higgins, trying to disrupt the timing. And Arnett also up tight. Remember, Reed is in again for Shaun Wade.
3rd and 3. Higgins working against Okudah. A couple of future first rounders, but that time Higgins back in the game, dropped it, and Lawrence was hit again after the throw.
Yeah, he sure was. Ohio State brought some pressure. That's a ball T. Higgins obviously would normally catch. It's a jam and then bail by Okudah. Ball off the hands, thrown to the outside where Higgins can make a play on it. Talking about two future first-rounders going head-to-head. And I think the tight end 25 chalk, his route may have got into the vision of T. Higgins trying to find the ball coming out of the hands of Lawrence.
It was Lawrence from deep in his end zone takes a deep shot downfield, looking for Ross. Okudah, no way. Tough to beat number one, who is a unanimous All-American, the first corner at Ohio State to ever get that honor.
6'1", 200 pounds, can run with any receiver. You can see he was up tight again, drops, bails, and then he locates the ball and keeps his body in great position to keep Ross away from being able to get to the football. And looks like now Ross is out.
He landed on his shoulder and was favoring his right arm as he came to the sidelines. Lawrence is rolling on second down, delivers a shot in the flat, and Higgins tries to muscle his way to a first down. Reap stopped him just, I believe, a few inches short. Here's another look at the incompletion. Earlier on, it was the net, as Maria reported, that was the problem for Ross, and he kind of is tripped up late. Hands on his shoulder. Didn't look like a lot there, but came off to the field with that right arm hanging at his side.
Kind of another one of those fluke injuries, very similar to T. Higgins.
By the way,
can't really predict that he would go down from that fall.
Higgins showed his physicality and made the first down there, so the Tigers some breathing room. Another short throw and catch, and Higgins this time will be corralled very quickly there by Okudah.
Keep another drive alive.
The Fields has to wait. Justyn Ross, by the way, back in the game, and this is Dixon spinning free. Cut it back, and a productive gain out near midfield for Lynn J. Dixon.
Watch again. Landers gets in, and what a good job by Dixon. Feeling that, putting his foot in the ground, cuts back the other way. This play's designed to run to the left, but because of the penetration by the interior, 67 Landers, he decides to put his foot in the ground and cut all the way back and picks up big yards. Another Ohio State player.
That's
now.
Jeff Okudah, the unanimous All-American corner. It's a test for this defense. They thought they were off the field. They were. Now suddenly having to try to keep Lawrence at bay. Now Young hoping to make his first impact play, knocking down the quarterback in that three-point stance on 3rd and 19. Lawrence. Young was getting close, and the pass is complete and fumbled. And the Buckeyes pick it up. And barreling into the end zone is Jordan Fuller. They called it a catch and a fumble and a scoop and score. That'll be reviewed, but a potential game-changing play for the Scarlet and Gray now.
The one question is, was he bobbling the ball is the one question. That's what they're going to probably take a peek at. Was he bobbling this football, or did he have possession? Okudah, tight coverage.
Ooh, I don't know.
Boy, he's holding on to that football. He has possession of that ball. That's a catch.
On the field with a catch, a fumble and return for a touchdown. The previous play is under review.
I think he had it long enough. I agree. And Okudah getting that long arm out there. That's why he's frustrated he didn't win the Thorpe Award. He felt he was the best defensive back in the country this year.
Absolutely, and he's very deserving to think that. How about the long arms? We talked all week the matchup, the Ohio State corners against the Clemson wide receivers and the length. Okudah knocks that ball loose, and the safety, Jordan Fuller, right there to pick it up for the touchdown. Here's real speed to give you an idea what they're looking at. And because the ball wasn't bobbled, that's a possession and a fumble in my mind, Bill.
Center.
After further review, the pass was ruled as incomplete. Therefore, it will be 4th and 19 at the 20-yard line.
Well, they agree with you, and a massive overturn here.
Bill, good.
Added about 15 pounds of muscle, much stronger this year to take hits like that. Look at it throw, fires across the middle. Okudah broke it up. Got that left arm in front of Higgins, and Young knocked down the quarterback that time.
Yeah, Young finally gets there, forces the ball out a little bit earlier maybe, but this to matchup. Okudah and those long arms against T. Higgins, gets away with a little hold there, but is able to knock that ball away.
I was talking to Bill Lamond. You can grab a jersey as a defender as long as you don't really tug or impede him from running and jumping. That felt like borderline there. Clemson with a 28-game winning streak on the line, but just needing a field goal to take the lead. And it's Ross on a slant, and he muscles for a first down across the 15.
Yeah, that play has not been there because of Okudah making great plays against Ross, and at times T. Higgins, his long arms, he's been able to reach around and knock those balls away. That time, a quick throw did not allow Okudah time to jump that.
So dominant. They delivered first and second round knockouts under serious duress. They fake it to Etienne. Lawrence steps up and delivers a strike across the middle. And it's Amari Rodgers who's still running. And he's down inside the 35. Waited all night to make a big play.
Chris, really interesting here to watch the quarterback work from his left and then patiently work through his progressions to his right. Watch his head. Eventually sees it's cover 3, sees the soft spot in the zone, and Rodgers works his way into that soft spot between the linebacker and the safety. And because he had the time to throw, he's able to recognize his third option.
Got 38 inside of a minute 50. 94-yard touchdown drive on 4 plays. Empty backfield. Lawrence flushed, chased, fires to the end zone, catch made by Higgins, and they convert the 2 and build the lead to 6. Once again, poise from Lawrence, who on the move found his favorite target.
And you might be thinking, what's the point? You know, you kick the extra point, you go up 4, you end up kicking, or go up 5, you end up going with the 2-pointer, you go up by 6. And the thing that's important to understand is if Ohio State scores a touchdown, they still have to kick an extra point. So it's better to be up by 6. Good job of improvising, holding onto that ball, giving T. Higgins a chance to work away from Okudah. There's that matchup again, 5 against 1. This time Higgins wins that battle.